Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Vries, and I would like to do a reading today addressing what is going on specifically in our country, but even more specifically within ourselves. From time immemorial, society has thrived on projection of what's wrong onto other people, and then called it truth. This is the truth of what's going on. And people have all proclaimed to represent the truth, myself included. I'd like to do this video from a place of my inner being, of the essence of my soul, beyond party prejudice, beyond divisiveness, beyond color, beyond race, beyond sexual preference, beyond whether I call something woke or not. I find that so disturbing and judgmental. Both sides. We've gotten into a complete division of understanding that all of humanity is a cell on the body of humanity of our globe, and not only are we related at a cellular level, at a soul level to every being on this planet, but we're also related to everything. That crystal lying on my desk right now is feeling my vibration and absorbing it. My dog that lies by my bed, we're both interchanging vibration all the time. So I find most conversations today are hollow, shallow, prejudicial, and repetitive, which is why I spend a lot of time in solitude to step out of the madness of judgment. I think that our president's reaction to the murder of this young man yesterday, regardless of his political beliefs or your political beliefs. This is a man that was a father in a family and a young man still cut short in his life. Many of his perspectives I do not agree with, but beyond that, I deeply dislike violence, and I've been talking about war and violence since I first started my videos. It was ironic yesterday that as he was shot, they were talking about gun violence. That was the question. Whether the person that killed him is Republican or Democrat has nothing to do with how we need to respond right now. It's not time to jump on the bandwagon and use the death of someone as a political ploy to advance our individual political beliefs and parties. This is horrific. This is violence, pure and simple. And most of the conversations today that people have are a repetition of what somebody else is doing. So Democrats gather together and they talk about what Donald Trump said, did, and is doing that day. Now, this is not to say that I don't think we should be conversant with what's going on in our world and what's affecting our personal community, and to stand up for what we feel is aligned with our spiritual essence. And if we see something wrong, to not speak out. We're not supposed to sit on a fence and be like bland and taking no position at all. But I do feel that the more attuned we are to our inner being, the more we step away from judgment, prejudice, anger, and the repetition of what others have done. We are here to grow within our own spirit. We came here to look at what is going on externally as a reflection of parts of ourselves that we still need to heal, that we still need to grow beyond. And I think if you really truthfully look at it and take the masks off, that the things that bother us most in others are often our own shadow side that we've never addressed or looked at, and it's lurking deep within us. If somebody comes to my door for a healing or reading, I never ask them what political party they belong to, nor do I get into that. I ask them, what is troubling your soul? How can I help you? How can we work together to bring more illumination and joy and sense of goodness and beauty into your particular life, so that you can then take that out and carry it into the world? Now, I'm not saying I've always succeeded at this, nor have there not been times when I've voiced my own opinions, much to my own personal dismay with myself, because that's not why I'm here. And we are all one. We're all part of one global community, and then we're part of every single thing we touch and everything we say and everything we do and everything we spread on Facebook, which is why I try to be circumspect about my own particular neuroses that day, my own particular beef with the world, and I try to go to a state of my inner being and upliftment. I spend hours and hours alone every day in solitude, or creating my art, or trying to write something on my page that will bring hope or relief or just be damn real. So I get very disturbed by going to other people's pages that are politicized, because I see that all it does is arouse anger and hatred and more divisiveness, and that's not my role, and it's not your role either. So I want to say that if we could look at our soul and the colors in our soul is literally dyed, and I mean dyed by changing color, by the color of our thoughts. And the biggest gift we can give to the world is to purify our own being, carry more light, and walk into the world. I think it was Marcus Aurelius that said that about our soul being dyed by the colors of our thoughts. And he was a very wise, deep, philosophical soul that has enlightened and brought me back to myself over and over. So I wanted to say that today, the first thing I did yesterday when I heard Charlie Kirk had been shot was to go and light a candle and go into deep prayer for his family and for him. I knew he was not going to make it. I could feel he was already out of his body and was not in a state of suffering. He literally was right out of his body. But I could feel the shock of that for him, so I sent him a healing and sent his family a healing. I'm just so tired of the, there's my doggie at the door, just one second. Okay, sweetheart, you go lie down. So what I would like to do is, one second, really ask if we could all form today a communal prayer, if we could all give deep thought to what we're posting, what we're talking about to others. Are we sending out more hateful messages? Are we standing up? You know, one of the great philosophers once said, beauty will be what saves our world. And I thought about that, because most people would say beauty saves our world. But if you think about it, look at the gift of beauty. Look at the gift of beauty of our ocean, of our flowers, of looking deep into the eyes of someone else and finding that beauty within them, instead of looking for something wrong or wanting to tear them apart. And right now we have an opportunity in America not to say, well, why didn't the Republicans respond to the couple that were killed in Minnesota? What good is that doing right now to bring all that up? We have a choice right now. We can either get on the bandwagon and hate Charlie Kirk from one side and say good riddance, or we can go Trump's side, where he's gonna take hold of this, put it between his teeth, because it's a way of distraction, and I didn't see true compassion or kindness. He had an opportunity to say to the world, let's join together, let's look at this gun violence, let's join hands in a state of love and compassion and find a way to grow through this experience. Every experience that is bringing suffering and wounding and arousing anger, we need to find what it is within us that needs healing, that can become so on the bandwagon of judgment. For those that are Christians, Christ himself said, judge not, that ye not be judged. Why are we so filled with judgment? Because we haven't faced our own depth of our own shadow self and accepted ourselves to a point of trying to change the parts of ourselves we're not happy with, but to accept the parts that are there and to love ourselves. And to when we feel that immense love and understanding of the depths of our soul, of the beauty of our soul, of the magnitude of our soul, and of the fact that all exists within this one huge soul of humanity, perhaps we could have more love and kindness and create healing. I talked for a long, long time about mercy in all my videos, because to me, that was one of the main reasons I felt my soul had come here. Probably all of us at some level had come here to learn more and to show more divine mercy to ourselves. Yes, to ourselves. We won't feel so attacked when we accept ourselves, but also to send the divine mercy to all of life itself, to that little ant crawling across the floor, to the flower that we're picking that day and saying, maybe I should just let you live. There's a capacity to grow in mercy in all aspects of being. But the other part that has really come strongly into my heart lately has been the line, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And I realized that I hadn't been talking enough about goodness. And I want to do some, here sweetie pie, come to mama. I want to talk more about goodness and what is goodness and how do we express goodness. And where is goodness lacking in our society today? What have we become? What is this malice that we carry so deeply within us? We look around the world and all we see is war and destruction, and we've even called our Department of Defense a Department of War, and we're warring on each other within our country. Well, that exemplifies to me the warring that is going on within us personally. So I'm going to end there today, but I want to really go into this topic a lot. And I ask, could you all go and light a candle for this man? Forget what his party is. Forget what his belief systems were. He's in a state of shock right now. He was thrown out of his body in a second. And his family's in a state of shock. And it's a terrible thing. I lost somebody once to violence, someone very close to me. And they were there and then they were gone in one instant, killed by another person, someone I loved dearly. And we had a choice in our family to go into a state of retribution and judgment and anger and etc. We chose as a family to move toward peace. I want to leave you with one story. I knew a lady when I used to live in Tawasin, Canada. He's being a naughty boy. I'm so sorry. Okay, you go outside and no more noise, okay? You're being a naughty boy. And the reason he's running outside is because there's a squirrel on the wire 30 feet up and he has absolutely no hope of getting to this squirrel. I wanted to leave you with this story because to me, this woman was a Christian. She exemplified, I'm not here creating an indoctrination of any particular religion, belief, whether you're spiritual or non-spiritual, whether you're agnostic, whether you're atheist. I don't care what you are. Let's look at it from the standpoint of the heart. How much do you live in your heart? This woman lived 2 blocks from me. She lived on a street that came on a slope up past her house. She had one child who was 14. She adored him. She was an ardent Christian. She went to church every week. Every time I saw her, she talked to me about Christ. This was a woman that showed to me what the essence of Christianity really was. Her son was out on the street one day, and a teenager who was in a new car drove his car 80 miles up that hill, and you couldn't see who was coming up that hill. And the boy was killed instantly in front of her. Died in 2 seconds. And the boy pulled over the other boy that was in the car. He was about 17. He was screaming and crying and sobbing in dismay and remorse. She looked at her son. She blessed her son. And she went over and she took this boy in her arms. And she said, "It's okay, I forgive you. I know that you didn't mean to do this to my son, that you were just out there being a wild, crazy young guy, and I forgive you." And she held him close for a good half hour. I saw her holding him, and he was sobbing and sobbing, and she called his parents, and she never took action. That's the essence of spirituality. How many of us could do that? There are times in our lives when we are faced with scenarios like that, like I was faced with my family member who was killed. We have a moment. We have moments. Are you going to jump on the bandwagon of judgment and be all with one political party and filled with hate and anger? Or, as I said earlier, say good riddance? Or are you going to move beyond to a place of divine compassion and hold his family in light and pray for his soul and say, "It's okay, I hope you're all right. I send you light, I send you love. Look for the light," and give consolation. People in a state of extreme suffering, they need consolation. They don't need the fire stirred, the coals stirred up, passing the baton of fire. No, we need to hold each other, and we need to talk about gun violence. We need to talk about mental illness. It's very likely mental illness was behind this. We need to talk about the extreme directions our country has taken. Why are you on one side or another side? We are souls. We are souls. We're divine souls. Where is the goodness in our country today? I leave you with that. My heart is with all of you. My heart is with our country. My heart is with our world. With all the wars, and my heart is with our environment, with our creatures. Thank you for listening. I want to say astrologically, he had Mars transit right over his sun. When that happens, things can get very heated. What a tragedy. But yet, out of tragedy, out of loss, out of suffering can come a new way of doing and being. Thank you.